All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. It is once again Friday night. It is 7 p.m., and we are going to get things underway. I hope everyone had a good week. I could have had a better week. I had to get this is how my week has mostly been. Despite it being a short week, I had to buy a new pair of glasses, and my vehicle needed a major repair. So that's how my week has been going. So hope you guys have had a better week than I've been having. Anyway, um, let's see what we have on the agenda for this week. I don't have the big light on. I just have my ring light here, right here on the camera, because that's going to help set the mood for what we're going to be doing tonight. So, we got a nice little crowd here going on in the chat. Let's see. Anna is conspicuous by her absence. I haven't seen her. Interesting. So news items returned this week. We have also on the agenda. Oh, don't worry, Age. I will try my best to remain positive. Yes, Matt. Mood lighting. Well, we're going down 2,500 feet to the bottom of the ocean, where it's going to be very, very dark. So I figure we can't have all this overhead lighting. So you guys will be able to see me. You'll be able to see the Olympic class here all lined up behind me. And yeah, we're going to do some exploring. So anyway, let's go ahead and start off with our first news item for the week. And let's see what's up first. Excuse me. This is USS Cobia, which is a Gato-class submarine. She is a sister ship to the Drum, sister ship to the Cavalus, sister ship to the Cod, sister ship to Croker. Notice there's a number of Gato-class submarines that are still active as museum ships in the country. But anyway, let's talk about what's going on with the Cobia. This article is from September 3rd, so it's 2 days old. USS Cobia will not be leaving Manitowoc tomorrow. I'm probably butchered that. September 4th, as planned. The Wisconsin Maritime Museum explains to SeaHaferNews.com that due to wind speeds of up to 23 miles per hour on Lake Michigan, it has made it unsafe to take the submarine to Sturgeon Bay for dry docking. The museum would have made Friday, September 5th, the backup date, but the water isn't expected to be calm by then. That means the World War II submarine will have to wait before being dry docked at Fincantieri Bay Shipbuilding. The museum will give a new date for when 2 tugboats will pull the Cobia up Lake Michigan in the future. In the meantime, they thank the public for their patience as they await the winds to subside. When the water conditions permit, the submarine will be pulled out of the water for cleaning, inspection, and repair as needed. The museum raised $1.5 million for dry docking. with some funding coming from the Wisconsin biennial budget. And that's what's going on with the cobia. This next article, if I can pull it up here. Let's see, move on to our next photo. Nope, well, I wasn't planning on that being next, but we might as well just go ahead and cover it. So some recent, as you can see, some new photos concerning the funnels for the SS United States have come out. And from what I have gathered, the funnels are being relocated to another facility in Theodore, Alabama. And they will be stored there for hurricane season, or the remainder of it, because today is September 5th. We are 6 days away from the statistical peak of hurricane season, which is September 10th. So I'm assuming they're moving them to a different facility to keep them safe while the remainder of hurricane season plays out. And I was joking about this photo here. Said, imagine how strong this guy must be to be able to pull a funnel all by himself. Skip says, I read a great book on cobia, listened to. Yeah. I know we have that in common, Skip. We both prefer audio books as opposed to reading books, which is crazy because when I was younger, I loved reading books. I really did. I read so many different books, and now I will partially get through a book and I will not finish it. I don't know why. But anyway, we have another photo. Let's see. Here we go. This is a nice one as well. Imagine you're on the road and you're traveling, and then you've got to come to a complete stop because the forward funnel of the SS United States is going down the road in front of you. Me too. I'm old. Am I? Yeah, well, like I said, I was overdue for an eye exam anyway, even though I had to get new glasses. That was the main reason why I got an eye exam, but I've been overdue for a few years to get another eye exam anyway. So I feel you. And, Mark, it looks short. It does look shorter. I never quite understood that, why the forward funnel looks shorter, but it really does. But anyway, does anyone still follow or have been going to like the YouTube channel, the Admiral Hotel in Mobile, and checking their live stream? I haven't checked it in a while because I figure now that the funnel, they've taken everything off the ship they're going to take, there's really not much left to see or watch. There's only going to be one more big event left, and if enough advance notice is given and I can afford it, I'm going to be in Mobile when the day comes that they tow her out. But anyway, let's move on to our next topic. Brand new $1 million luxury yacht tips over and sinks just minutes after launching, forcing crew to jump overboard. A yacht worth nearly $1 million sank in the water off the shore of Turkey just 15 minutes after its maiden voyage as panicked passengers and crew jumped overboard. Excuse me. Dramatic amateur video shows the vessel, the Dulce Vento, ease into the water off the coast of Zonguldak in northern Turkey's Irakli district Tuesday before launching to one side and slowly sinking into the depths. It was the first time the approximately 85-foot boat worth around $940,000 was launched after being delivered to its owner in Istanbul. The owner, captain, and two crew members jumped overboard and swam to shore without injury, and the Coast Guard and port teams responded to set up a security perimeter around the foundering watercraft. Officials at the shipyard said the cause of the sinking was under investigation and that technical inspections of the yacht will be carried out to determine what happened. Last month, a fishing boat with 11 passengers on board began sinking off Pier 1 in Sheepshead Bay at night, requiring an NYPD harbor unit rescue team to whisk those on board to safety. So I'll be quite interested to see exactly what caused this brand new $1 million boat to sink on its very first voyage. Maybe I'll do on the stream sinking. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, Age. And I will be there. I'll probably do a live stream as well when I'm there. I will, if I can, I'll shoot the drone up and get some images that way. And I plan to follow it down the coast, all the way down to Dolphin Island, and see her until just sit there and watch her until she's out of sight. Hey, and there's Anna. Welcome, Anna. So that wraps up our news for the week. Guys, I forgot to fix my drink before I started the live stream, so I'm going to do that real quick. I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Let's get that. That reminded you of Ozzy. What reminded you of Ozzy, Skip? Star Trek glass. No, Matt, I did not buy a lottery ticket. I might buy one tomorrow night because the drawing is tomorrow night. So let's move on to our This Week in History topics. Let's see. Oh, the potato room, of course. Let's see. Let me pull up my This Week in History notes, and we will get rolling here. Let's see. So this week in history, September 1st, 1939, Germany invades Poland. As a result, Great Britain and France declare war on Germany, officially marking the beginning of World War II. These are Polish troops, by the way, that you're seeing in the image. We have another September 1st. This is September 1st, 1985, and happens to be why we're doing what we're doing tonight. September 1st, 1985, Dr. Robert Ballard and crew discover the wreck of Titanic. Now, September 2nd, 1945, Japanese delegates signed the documents of unconditional surrender aboard USS Missouri BB-63, officially bringing an end to World War II. Age forgotten to love this. Oh yeah, I'm loving that you guys love this segment because I love this segment. I thought of this idea about a month or so ago, and I just wanted to try it and see what you guys thought of it. And everybody seems to dig it, which excites me about it and motivates me to want to do it every week. So thank you guys for that. September 4th, 2006, crocodile hunter Steve Irwin was tragically passed away. I used to love watching Steve Irwin's show. I don't know about you guys, but I watched Crocodile Hunter all the time. Let's see. Absolutely, Mark. Very sad indeed. I was a big fan of his show. Let's see. September 5th. Let's see. Kids are great too. Absolutely. But we've got a little more happy one for this next one. September 5th, 1946, the birth of Freddie Mercury, a man that many consider to be one of the greatest singers of all time, of any genre. And let's see. We've got, yep, Mark Queen, yep. Who all in here is was a fan of Queen's music? I was a big fan of their music. I remember um, the Flash Gordon movie. Queen did the whole soundtrack for the old Flash Gordon movie. I was such a big fan of that. Okay, we have one more of this week in history, which is also September 5th, 1975. Let's see. Lynette Fromm attempted to assassinate United States President Gerald R. Ford. Fromm, a follower of Charles Manson, was sentenced to life in prison but was released in 2009. So there you have it. That is this week in history. Oh gosh, yeah. Okay, so let me shift gears here and stop that. And you guys got to bear with me a second. I can load this up. All right. Got it. Almost got it ready. Okay. Let's see. Share screen. There we go. All right. Well, the random fact about the assassination attempt, I figured I was the only one who knew she was a follower of Manson. Yep. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I did not know that prior to looking up my This Week in History. But now I know. And knowing's half the battle. Should have moved your Lego Titanic back there on the shelf. Well, this shelf, so I'll go big screen here for a minute. You guys, he's talking about the Kobe Titanic that you see right where I'm pointing at behind me. That is way too big to fit on this shelf. That's why I've got my little 1 to 700 scale models of each of these shelves. Just a nerd. How do I play this? This is on Steam. So if you have Steam, you can get this. This is an older game. And even with an older game, I've got to turn down the settings all the way down. Otherwise, I will not be able to run the game for you guys. You know, that's just one of the things of having an older computer. You know, absolutely, yeah. And it's not an expensive game either. So I need to. No, not that. Options. Did it freeze? All right, here we go. I got to, let's turn the audio off and turn the graphics all the way down. So it'll run a little bit better. And we're going to go into sandbox mode and we are going to start exploring the bow section. Let me put my headphones on. Do you have any tips on the 1 to 700 Revell model I'm currently building? So I have videos on my channel where I actually built all 3 of these models. So if you go to my channel and look at the model building playlist, you can check out exactly how I built them. All right, so new objective, explore Titanic. So again, why are we doing this? Well, because this week, September 1st, 1985, it was the 40th anniversary of Robert Ballard discovering the wreck of Titanic. So they're very helpful. Well good. I hope you find them very helpful. So yeah, we're gonna do our Passover of the ship like we always do. We should be. I got to turn this way from what I remember. Yep. You can see how the pile is starting, like well, the mound. All right, we got to zoom up a bit. We're coming up right to the bow section here. I may have asked you guys this before. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Seeing her coming out of the darkness like a ghost ship gets me every time. And here we are. We are at the bow. Was Robert Ballard discovering the wreck? Is that what got you into Titanic? Or was it the movie? What was it that got you into Titanic? And here we go. We're gonna kind of go over the bow here. Coolest game you've seen in a while. There's actually a newer version of this game that is based. Skip, you're so full of. All right. So there's actually a newer game like this that is based on the Magellan scans that came out. I highly doubt my computer is going to be able to run it on a stream. That's why I have not bought that game. And a Nat Geo magazine, 8th grade in school suspension. Really? Okay. Okay, I'll share a little story with you guys. This is not Titanic related, but you might find this funny. Anna, you just made me think of something. So when I was in 8th grade, I had a Saturday suspension. So instead of missing the 3 days from school, I had to go to school on Saturday. And it ended up being a pretty cool thing because they forced us to read as part of the suspension. We had to read a book and or a story. It was Edgar Allan Poe's The Mask of the Red Death, and that's how I first discovered Edgar Allan Poe and became a massive fan. So I owe getting in trouble and getting a Saturday suspension at school to becoming a fan of Edgar Allan Poe's work. Finding an old little red block written about the Britannic. Interesting. So Britannic led you to Titanic. That's really cool. So here we are. You see those are the forward loading cranes. The mast is still on in this interpretation of the wreck. Imagine how Kid Marshall felt when the wreck was discovered, because he was painting the ship as a shipwreck for years before the wreck was actually discovered. And his paintings depicted the ship being in one whole piece. Imagine his shock when he saw the first images. What is that thing under the mast in front of you? Let's see. If you're talking about this right here, these would be the loading cranes. You've got one on each side. And yes, they are still on the ship. And then there's the hatches, which we're probably going to go down there later. All right, here we go. There's B deck, there's A deck. And here we are. We're coming up on boat deck. And of course, that outline is where the interior of the bridge house would have been. So let's do this. So you can see this would have been the port side bridge wing right here. And here's the bridge house. And this would have been the interior. This would have been where they actually steered the ship when it was at sea. Can you pick up artifacts from the debris field? In the actual gameplay mode, I think you can do stuff like that, but we're just doing a sandbox where we can explore the ship without having to do like objectives and stuff. So I don't know for sure if you can do that in the sandbox mode. All right, let's go up here. Here's the starboard bridge wing. Let's go back to our submersible. So yeah, I asked the question, how did you get into Titanic? This is the event right here that got me into Titanic. And I know I've told the story before, but I'll tell it again for anyone who may not have heard it. So September 1st, 1985, the day the wreck is discovered, I remember being in the car. I was very young, being in the car with my parents, and we were going somewhere. I cannot remember where we were going, but they were talking about it in the car because it had been all over the news. Excuse me. And I remember asking, what's Titanic? And, I'm sure they gave me, the short version. Big ship, hits the iceberg, sinks, all that. And by the way, this would have been the last known position of William Murdoch, right here. The starboard forwardmost Welland davit. But I remember after that, the riding in the car story right there. We had this big set of encyclopedias in the living room, and I had never touched those encyclopedias before that I can remember until they mentioned Titanic to me. That was the first time I grabbed one of those books, and I went find the book with the T section. Found the Titanic section, read it, and been obsessed ever since. So here's the expansion joint right here, the forwardmost expansion joint. Got into Titanic because of amateur radio. I learned about ocean transmitters, and Titanic was a point of interest. That's really cool. Ozzy, go into the potato room. The potato room is destroyed, Ozzy. We would have to go like Honor and Glory or something to see the potato room. That had the Nat Geographic magazine with the Titanic on the cover. Never should have got rid of them. I would have loved to have seen those. All right, so here we are. We're moving aft. And there's first class entrance right here. And there is the entrance to the gym. And yet, as you can see, the roof to the gym is completely collapsed. I imagine it's even in worse shape now than it was when this interpretation was done. Go to the pools. Ha ha, the pools still have water. The toilets do too. Nobody ever talks about that. So here's, let's see. So this is where the second funnel would have been. And if we go forward, there is the big cavern where the grand staircase would have been. Here's one I was looking at in 1988. The image in the library was outdated. Grew up in Island in Michigan and used to watch the lake freighters go up and down the river. I'm going to tell you guys something. It's been on my bucket list for a while to find an expert on the Edmund Fitzgerald. Uh, I've not actively began that search yet because I've been working on making new contacts for like all the museum trips and stuff. But that is something that has always been in the back of my mind. And if I can find someone, you can bet it's going to happen. All right, so we're coming down, and we're going down here because we're going to take a look at the boilers. Are the lights still on? Probably not, Ozzy. Probably not. All right, so here we go. I think we're far enough backed out. Yeah, we're backed out enough. You can see all the decks collapsed onto each other. And there are the boilers. So let's get a closer view of the boilers. And there we go. Edmund Fitzgerald is in Lake Superior. Yes. Or as its other name, which is mentioned in the song, Gitchagumi. That is correct, Ozzy. September 1st, 1985, Robert Ballard discovered the wreck, and that is why we are doing this tonight. In honor of the anniversary of the discovery, we are exploring the wreck as the only way we can, virtually. Now, I am fairly certain this interpretation of the wreck is as it appeared when it was discovered in 1985, because it definitely does not look like this today. I remember the day the Fitz went down. What was the? I don't. I'm pretty sure that was kind of before my time, Eric. So I have no memory of that. You might be a little older than I am because I have no memory of the Edmund Fitzgerald going down. That was what 70? Was that 77 when Fitzgerald went down? '75. Okay, yeah. So that's why I have no memory of it. I was not alive when the Edmund Fitzgerald went down. Imagine being in this submersible, guys, and you just got this mass of steel. And a lot of the portholes are still in place. Let's get up top and look at some of the superstructure. Oh, we're coming up just at the forward section here. So there is another davit still in place, just like on the starboard side. The forwardmost port side davit is still in place. Okay, so what we're going to do we're going to come down here to the forecastle, more specifically the forward well deck. And we are going to descend down the ship into the forward well deck. All right, so let's go ahead and get our little ROV out. Oh, look at a little squid. Ah, you see the little center mushroom vent right there. So here we go. We're going to descend down into the wreck right here. So you guys are going to have to help me with this in case I forget. The forward well deck is C deck. So the first deck we're going to come down to inside the ship here is going to be D deck. Yeah, it was a jellyfish. It's still there. All right, so right here is D deck. Let's have a quick look around and see. There is sea life down there. Oh, yeah, for sure. So here's C, excuse me, this is D deck right here. In 1975, I was 11 years old. Oh, wow. Okay. See, we're still on D deck. We can actually go down here too. So let's go through this crack right here. We're coming down to E deck. Now, of course, this is not crew quarters right here. I wonder how much forward we can go. Because on a lot of the bow section, there were crew quarters in the bow section. Hey, if it's any consolation, I may be younger than you guys, but I'm getting old myself and feeling it. Ozzy wants to see Scotland Road. We will go see Scotland Road, Ozzy. Let's go down to F deck first. Well, the clock's ticking for all of us, Skip. There's a saying, Father Time is undefeated. All right, so we're on F deck. Let's go down further. (1984), just graduated high school. I was just starting school. I'm not the oldest. Okay, so this would have looks like it would have been all crew quarters right here. So let's see. Oh, Dark and Marty went back to the Old West on this day? Okay. So now let's see. I'm trying to get you guys into the mail room. That's where we're going. So here we go. We're entering into on the mail room. Of course, we know this was one of the first areas on the ship to flood. And if we go up here, we're going to go up these stairs. So we should be back on F deck. We go to the time machine now. Skip, I know you like building model cars. There are model kits of the DeLorean, by the way, if you happen to be interested in that. I do not own any, but I know they exist. All right, let's go in here, and we're going to make our way up. I can see the light from the submersible. Matt, there is an episode of Supernatural. It's in season 6. The Titanic is part of the plot, but no, they do not go back on the ship, and the ship is never shown in the episode. It's just a plot point. Do a search for Rick Mixter. He's a Great Lakes historian and ship hunter, a wealth of knowledge on the Fitz. I'm going to write that down. Let's see. Rick Mixter. I get my pen right. Rick Mixter. Got it. September 4, 1975, Egypt and Israel signed the Sinai Agreement too. What made the DeLorean famous? Well, I would argue Back to the Future made the DeLorean famous. Yes, Anna, that is correct. Referring to that episode of Supernatural. He's got YouTube as well. Okay, well, good to know. All right, let's see. Here we go. All right, so we're back in our submersible. He's discovered several shipwrecks on the lake. What was the ship that was sailing with the Fitz when it went down? Was it Aaron Anderson? You're talking about Balthazar, Anna. I remember the angel's name. I'm actually watching. I've been rewatching the last 3 seasons that I did not watch, and I am midway through season 15 right now. Arthur Anderson. Why did I say Aaron? Arthur M. Anderson. Yes, she is still in service. I did know that. All right, here we go. So here's the spot where the forward funnel would have been. Of course, we saw the spot earlier where the second funnel would have been. All right, here we go. I think you got to 13. Season 13 was weak. Season 14 was a lot better, and so far, I think season 15 is pretty meh. All right, so let's go. We're going to descend down. This is, of course, where the grand staircase would have been. Stock Brown, Klingon, bird of prey. Give me Genesis! All right, here we go. We're going down, and this should be, of course, A deck. Let's see if the A deck thing is still there. There it is. There's A deck. Ozzy wants to see Scotland Road. I don't remember if we can get in Scotland Road on here, but I guess we're about to find out, aren't we? All right, going down to B deck. Not much to see on B deck. But on C deck here, we've got the where the purser's office would have been. If we can get to it, got to kind of navigate around all this debris here. Yeah, and there it is. There's purser's office. That fish is just kind of chilling there. All right, let's go into the purser's office if we can. Didn't the Cowboys lose? By the way, that reminds me, we're definitely going to be cutting it off at an hour tonight, guys, because the NFL is actually live streaming a real NFL game on YouTube for free. It's the Chiefs and the Chargers. And, oh, look, a crab. Now, you ask yourself, who is stupid enough to do a live stream on YouTube at the same time the NFL is giving away a game on YouTube? Who would be stupid enough to do that? This guy. There's a chandelier or a chandelier. So yeah, I'm actually going to check that out. I'll be watching that when this game when we're done here. All right, let's go down to D deck. Oh, look at that big old thing. Oh, that's all right. D deck. I don't believe we can make it count in the wreck. Maybe some plates. Kind of hard to tell what that is. Let's see. So we're in D deck reception right now. Let's see how far back we can go. Okay, there's the doors for the dining room. I should remember this in the movie. And I don't think, nope. We've got we got excuse me. We have an invisible barrier here, so we cannot go into the dining room. Yeah, it's blocking me off. Was the coal fire part of the sinking? No, Osby, it was not. In fact, if you go back and listen to the live stream I did with Park Stevenson, he makes the argument that the coal fire helped prolong the sinking. All right, and let's go down to E deck. We're going to see if we can get in Scotland Road. Let's see. It does not look like we can get in Scotland Road. Yeah, this would have been the door right here. Unless you can do it from the outside, because in a lot of sections the shell plating is peeled away. Unless there's a gap in there, maybe you can go in Scotland Road. But in this, from trying to go through the grand staircase here, you can see it's not possible. Now, I remember Molly Brown's room was around here somewhere. Skip, thank you very much for the $20, my friend. I appreciate that. That means I'm going to get a payout from YouTube pretty soon for that. Thank you very much. That means I'm going to get a payout from YouTube, and I can pay for StreamYard for the next several months. Thank you. If I remember right, Molly Brown's room was down this hall. If I'm playing Honor and Glory, I know where it's at, but it's harder for me to remember where it's at doing this version of the wreck. Oh, we got another jellyfish. Okay, so let's make our way back. So we've got about 10 minutes left, guys. Is there any place you want to see before we call it a wrap? Titanic fell prey to the same thing that doomed a lot of Liberty ships, brittle steel and cold water temps. Turkish bath? Okay. Oh, okay. Here's the lifts right here. This was the lowest that the lifts went, down to E deck. All right, so we got to go back this way. Anna wants to see the Turkish baths. We already did that, Matt. If you remember, we went look at the boilers before we came inside of the ship. When they did the special on Discovery, they say it was the coal fire. Some of those documentaries, Ozzy, you got to take with a grain of salt. My advice to you is listen to the real experts, like Park Stevenson. Remember, about a lot of documentaries are there for entertainment, and sometimes they don't always get the facts correct. Okay, so we're going up to D deck. So here's D deck. Okay, wait, I'm having a brain fart. The Turkish baths were on F deck, not D deck. So we need to see if we can get down to F deck. Let's see. All right, so yeah, here we go. Let's see if we can get down into F deck right here. Yeah, so here we go. And here we go. There's the Turkish bath. I didn't realize this that you could get in through right there. So here we go. Of course, the most well-preserved room on the wreck right here. That thing you are piloting looks like a pod from 2001: Space Odyssey. See, and we can't get in right here. The electric baths would have been down that hallway right there. You take a bath, yeah. Oh, look at a mirror. Oh, it really is. I know they can't. I know they can't or won't take anything off the wreck, but I really wish they'd recover some of these tiles. If there's any on the seafloor, they should recover. They should, get some of these tiles. I doubt any of them are because this room didn't really take a whole lot of damage. Yeah, and we see we cannot go to the pool. The pool is closed off by a bulkhead. I wonder if we can knock these rusticles out of the way and maybe squeeze through right here. Right, Anna. Yeah, there you're right. No, so the rusticles do block these holes. Yeah, there are tiles in the debris field, but they are not from the Turkish bath. Ha ha, swimming pool joke. I want the lion head off the wall. Well, I will never be able to obviously own a piece of Titanic, but I do own a piece of Olympic. All right, so let's make our way back up. And let's see. Going up. There are more planes in the sea than ships in the sky. Interesting. Yeah, coal is the most readily available thing you can get. I guess because so much of it's spilled out onto the sea floor. Oh, look, our squid is still there. Was a stupid quote you read years ago. Well, here's a fun fact for you guys, kind of off topic, but did you guys know that every single Star Wars movie ever filmed was all filmed on Earth? All right, we're back in our submersible. All right, here we go. Let's make our way forward. I bet all the fish ate the potatoes, Ozzy. I mean, they really didn't go to Tatooine? No. Can you believe it? Can you actually believe they found a suitable place on Earth to double for Tatooine? Oh. This is where we're going to finish. We're going to go down the stair right here. We're going to go promenading like we always do when we do Honor and Glory. Let's go down to A deck. And where'd they get the extra sun? They borrowed it from Louisiana, Eric. That's where they got it from. All right. We're going to go until we cannot go anymore. Is that supposed to be 400,000 tons of potatoes, Ozzy, or 40,000? All right. Expansion joint. You can go to the stern, Anna. It's a different section. In fact, we did it once before. If you go back through, go look through the playlist, and you should be able to find it. I mean, we can always do it again. That's no big deal. I'm totally down to do it again if you guys want me to do that. We won't be doing it tonight, though, because we're about to wrap up here. All right. Same here. All right, we're getting to the point now where we can't get much further. Yep, there we are. This is going to be our stopping point. Cool. All right. All right, guys. So that is going to wrap us up for this week. If I can get full screen here for a minute. There we go. Yeah. So that's going to wrap us up for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I felt this was the right time to explore the wreck again, considering it is the 40th anniversary. So, having said that, thank you guys as always for coming and hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. Skip, thanks again for the super chat. That is much appreciated, my friend. And who is ready for Spaceballs Part 2? Me, for sure. Definitely ready for Spaceballs 2. But having said all that, guys, I hope you guys have a great weekend. And until the next time, as always, you guys know the drill. Drive safely.